abbreviations and spelling the person's name wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like the subject, it's like
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
Anything
and then
else?
the whole text is just one chunk of text, and
Yep.
it's really too much.
Right.
Yeah, and then like the rate, and then and then there's like please remember.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very. I don't even want to read this.
Yes, definitely. Like if someone sends this to me, I would feel so targeted slash, passive aggressive reading this email. Like the way, the tone, the spelling mistakes, abbreviations, everything you mentioned. So I guess like main points are, like the way the structure is, like your subject line, never put very important. And I'm not kidding. I have had clients put very important, urgent, critical in the subject line. So it's the moment you see that email, you just do not want to open it. So just try not to be one of those people or one of those clients, because the person you're talking to, on the other hand, is also a human. So just always try to remember that. Spelling people's name right. That's something that I often see people do wrong as well. Making sure you're not using random colors, caps, or bold to put your point across. Even the hyperlink is not something that's very visually attractive. So you can always put like a smaller, like, just the keywords and then put a hyperlink on that in your email. The abbreviations, these might work well in the text to a friend, but not in a professional setting in an email. And yeah, I think great point that Yang Hui mentioned was like, it's all one chunk of text. So you can always add bullet points or, smaller sentences that make it easier for people to read. Okay, one quick question and something I'm very curious about. Does the audience prefer, chatting people, their colleagues, or emailing their colleagues? Like, would you rather, whether it's Teams or Slack, or would you rather send them an email asking for help or, working on a project?
Probably text. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
faster. Email feels very formal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think same for me. I prefer, texting my colleagues, my coworkers, but if it's a client, then I would email them. Anyone else? Mayu, do you want to share?
And for me, I use Workplace for business. It is like, Slack or like Skype messaging as well. I think one thing to take note is that, try to only email or text during working hours. I think there's something that, be respectful of each other's time, personal time especially, and take note of everyone's working hours, because nowadays it's very flexible working arrangements. So doesn't mean that you work at 8 a.m. Other people do work at 8 a.m. So just make sure that you also take note of the time zone difference, or like, the working hours of the person that you're reaching out to, so that, you don't, disrupt their personal life. I think that's also one thing to take note apart from this mini activity. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, so I do think like in addition, right? So make sure your timing is good. Like you should also respond in a timely manner. In addition to that, like if you do receive an email, try to get back in 1 day or 2 day. I usually just send an acknowledgement. If I don't have an answer right away, I just let them know like, hey, I've received your email, I'm looking into it, and let me get back to you in 2 or 3 days. So just lets the other person know that you've read it, you've received it. And in terms of the text or the things that you're writing in your email, whether that's your subject line or your email body, just make sure it's very clear and specific, and you're not making it hard for the reader to sort of, get to the point. Nowadays, no one loves like, long-winded, like, hey, like, just it should be short and to the point. It's not a literature class. So just make sure you convey what you need of them as well. So there should always be an action line towards the end, letting them know like, hey, this is what I need from you, or whatever it might be. And yeah, so just also make sure you are starting with the right name. And I think that's very, very important, because name is one of the key things to a person. So try to spell their names correctly. And yeah, that's all about it. There's additional things you can read on the page, but that brings me to the end of our workshop. I know we are probably probably 10 minutes over the time, but hopefully it was helpful. So yeah, so hopefully everyone, took away something from first impressions, their professional 3 A's and business etiquette. So I know a lot of this might seem like obvious, but these are things we should constantly think about and think of improving as we go from our day to day.